Good evening, Marty.
We're live.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Scottsburg Board of Works meeting. This is Tuesday, May the 26th, 2020. And we're going to begin with our roll call.
Yes. Mayor Amy,
Here.
Tom Lewis, Karen Gracious.
Here.
The first thing on our agenda this evening is the approval of the May 11th minutes, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes written.
Motion has been made by Tom Lewis on the May 11th, 2020 to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So passed. The next thing would be to look at the okay, I had ratify vote on contract job description, new hires via approved meeting. What's this?
Those are votes that have been taken via email that we have been allowed to do during the current situation, but we have to ratify those votes at a meeting to say that, yes, we did do those votes by email. And so what this is on the Community Crossings Grant contract, the job description for the training director at the Mid-America Science Park, and the 3 new hires that we did for part-time summer help only. And those were all done and approved via email. We just need to ratify that vote in meeting.
So that's the explanation. So do I have a motion to ratify the votes on the contract, the job description, and new hires?
I'll make that motion.
Frank Richards makes the motion.
I'll second.
Tom Lewis seconds. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved. Next, we have a quote from Coit, cleaning and restoration. Jess, would you like to explain this one as well?
At the Mid-America Science Park, we have the banquet hall that we rent out. That carpet over time, of course, with the events gets stained and everything. It has been, from what we have found out, 2 years since it's last been cleaned. It does have several stains on the carpet and everything. So we did solicit quotes. We actually asked for quotes from Coit Stanley Steamer, and we reached out to 3 other private companies. Coit is the only one that got back with us. And their quote is for the entire banquet hall, which is 5,370 square foot. And their price came in at 10 cents a square foot for a total of $537. There is a $20 service charge on all of their bills. And then they did say if we wanted, we could ask for the Coit Guard. And what that is a stain resistant thing that they put over it to help the carpet resist the stains, which would last longer. That would be an additional $97. So if we could do it either the 537 or both the 537 and the 97, which would be a total with the service charge of $654. What they have stated on here with their customer note is carpets would be pre-treated, extracted with hot water, deep steam extraction. If spots do not lift, they will be post-spot treated and extracted again in those areas. And if there is any question about the quality of the work, it is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And the representative told me that's all the way back to a refund if we was to get to that point. So what I'm asking is if you guys are willing to approve this, and if so, if you want to do just the cleaning or the cleaning and the Scotch Guard on it.
Let me say this as well. What we are also looking at is the city purchasing a commercial cleaning equipment. That cleaning equipment will actually heat the water for you. You're going to want to put hot water in it, but it has a way to boost it up to where we'll have the proper temperature to clean, but not also hurt the carpet. And so that equipment's about $2,500. But we thought because it hasn't been cleaned in a couple of years, we have it professionally cleaned here now with Scotch Guard, the carpet. Unfortunately, this is in an area where there's a lot of eating. And, in my mind, we maybe should have had a tile somewhere. But right now, we have what we have. It's a carpet. It's still a good carpet, so, this was the thought pattern.
I think we should do the Scotch tile.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not familiar with pricing and cleaning. It seems to me to be a good price, but
Right.
is anybody else familiar with pricing?
I mean,
10 cents a square foot seems.
He said that's the government rate. He said normally a business rate is about 14 to 15 cents a square foot. And something with Coit that I also learned is they are still a locally owned family company. So,
They're located in Louisville.
Louisville is their home office, and then they have offices in Jeffersonville as well.
I mean, typically I'm cleaning maybe 1,000 square feet for 300 or 400 times in an apartment. To give you an idea. So in my mind, this was a good way.
I'll make a motion, we approve and include the, safeguard.
Motion has been made by Tom Lewis to go forward with the commercial cleaning with the Scotch Yard, as it were, applied as well for a total price of $654. Is there a second to that motion?
I second.
Karen Gracious seconds the motion. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. So passed. The next thing is the approve to the back to the work plan. Okay, Josh or Jess, does anybody want to explain this?
What the back to work plan is with everything being opened back up, the governor has asked that businesses put a plan in place on your safety procedures and everything that you will have in place once you open back up to the public. And so what this is one that we created that would be the overall general one for the city and as well as City Hall. And then for each department, we'll have additional measures because each department is a separate entity that has its own necessary measures that we will take. But this would be the overall that would cover all the city as well.
Now, that said, also let you know that the city has ordered 8 heat-seeking missiles. Eight heat. How do I say this? Heat
Thermal.
temperature. It's a. You've seen that? Thermometers. Yeah. Only I can point at Scott's forehead and tell his temperature.
Yeah, you gotta be a certain distance.
I have to be a certain distance. So right now I couldn't get it from Scott, but if I get closer, it's going to tell me exactly. So that said, the courthouse is going to open. My understanding today, June the 2nd.
Well, June the 1st.
June the 1st.
And then they'll close June the 2nd for the primary and
Okay.
then generally back to normal, that with temperature taking and, asking to wear masks. We can't force them to, but we can ask.
So, and their criteria, because my question to the health department is, what criteria are you using for temperature? They said 100.4. Again, that's, better than 1 degree higher than the 98.6. But they're saying at 100.4, if it's there or over, they're not gonna let you
We go home.
go home. So,
So are we gonna have to hire somebody to be the?
We will work out the details with all of the departments on how we will do this, but we do have, one of the things also that the health department has been able to provide is a questionnaire sheet that each employee would have to fill out on a daily basis where we would put in what their temperature is. So that is something, of course, temperature's gonna have to be taken by somebody else. They can't do themselves. So, we'll have those put out to each of the departments to make sure that we are asking the proper questions on a daily basis and everything, which is what the CDC is recommending as well.
once we go to walk-in traffic, Josh has volunteered to come in and do the temperature test for us. Oh, never mind, he's paying attention. So, that's getting done.
So is there a duration to this before we just go back to normal?
There is.
Do we know what that is or?
We do. Is it July the 2nd or 4th?
July 4th is when the governor is letting us go to stage 4. Now, with that being said, this may actually carry on longer than that, depending upon what CDC guidelines and everything like that become. Because this does talk about the prevention, preparedness, and our response plan in the event that we had an employee or anything get diagnosed, how we would go about handling that. That's all addressed in here as well. Or if somebody was, because we will be opening back up to the public, if somebody in the public come in and we were considered to have exposure, how that would be handled within our building and within the employees. So this covers that stuff. So this will possibly go on longer than the July 4th, but it is a necessary tool to give us guidance and everybody can follow.
The governor's stating basically that as of June 1, we can have public meetings here in city council.
Yes,
So those of you wishing to come and see this in person, June 1. And Chief of Police will let you in.
Can't wait.
The one, the only, Chief's office. So, but anyways, we would ask you for your approval on this back to work plan that the city of Scottsburg has put forth. Have we sent this to the governor's office as well?
No.
So we need to approve it first and send it.
we don't have to send it to them. They're just asking us to have one in place.
Okay. Hey, we're being obedient. So, did anybody see anything there that you were questioning?
No, it's pretty much similar to what they sent us for our work. Just everybody's doing it. I mean,
Yeah, everybody's about the same page.
We have a COVID-19 meeting with the county and all, the city of Austin, the county, all entities, so that we can share information, we can share what's going on. And folks, if you're gonna watch this tonight, we want you to know the county has applied and received with the, I think this food and drug, the farmers. What's the name of that, Jeff? You remember?
It's through the CARE Act.
Through the CARE Act of the
Yes.
farmers.
Farm to table.
Farm to table,
Well,
farm
no,
to,
it's not bad. It's got another term, but I can't remember.
give me a second.
We put it on our we put it on the city website, folks, I'm gonna mess this really up, so just look at the city website. But actually, there's gonna be 550, Jess has got it, wait just a minute.
Okay, so tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th at 12 p.m. at the First Christian Church's The Rock venue on South Gardner Street, 550 food boxes will be available courtesy of the USDA Farmers to Families program. Each box is expected to contain 1 gallon of milk, 12 pounds of pre-cooked chicken nuggets, 5 pounds of pre-cooked barbecue pulled pork, 4 pounds of pre-cooked bacon, 5 pounds of onions, 5 pounds of potatoes, 5 pounds of oranges, 3 pounds of cheese. Boxes are 50 pounds. Must be a Scott County resident, must have ID, first come, first serve.
So we thank, I think was it Commissioner Tobias
Yes.
who reached out this, and so we have 500, we have a semi-load, 550 50-pound boxes coming tomorrow at the Rock. Now, if you don't know where the Rock's at, folks, that's US 31 South, down across from what used to be Holmes Industry. You turn down a lane and there'll be trust me, there'll be folks there. Just follow the yellow brick road. And if you miss that one, then the next day on Thursday at Austin Firehouse, there's another semi truck with another 550
Oh,
pounds,
wow.
550 boxes. That's, we have 1,100 families who are going to receive a 50-pound box of food to get you by. So if you're short, don't be embarrassed. Come on out. We don't want anybody going hungry. Scott Cash,
Terry, can I
Yes.
make one correction?
please.
When I was talking to Commissioner Tobias, he said, well, the truck will arrive around noon, but the distribution will not start until about 12:30, depending on the arrival of the truck.
Thank you.
And no one is to get out of their vehicle. Everything will be put in the vehicle for them.
Okay, thank you. I did not realize that. Thank you. So, folks, if you want to just stay in, come up, pop your trunk open, they'll put it in the trunk. And so truck's supposed to arrive at 12, so if you didn't hear that, 12:30 tomorrow, they're probably gonna plan on handing food out. Is this the same for Austin as well, Marty?
Yes.
Okay. So going forth, a great thing for Scott County. So, other questions, concerns about the COVID-19 plan, back to work that we talked about?
I make a motion to approve.
Karen Grisham
Back to
makes a
work
motion
plan.
to approve the plan as presented. Is there a second?
I have a second.
Tom Lewis seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, so passed. We have, the next thing on the agenda is approval of a waiver of late fees and disconnects for June. Now, we have done this is for the utilities, so that we don't turn anyone's electricity or water off. So, for June. So, we've done this, so far in April and May. So now we're asking for approval for June as well.
And the reason for that, the governor has extended that to July, that we cannot do any disconnects before July.
So what we're doing here is basically following the governor's request. So do I have an approval then to approve the waiver of late fees and disconnects for June?
So move.
Tom Lewis so moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Karen Grisham seconds. Comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So moved. The next thing on our agenda is the hiring of the Mid-America Science Park Training Director. Now, folks, the Mid-America Science Park is a large facility the city of Scottsburg owns, located on South Lake Road. It's a 115,000 square foot facility. A portion of that has been used for education or the training center. City of Scottsburg took this property over. It had been sublet by the Economic Development Corporation as of April the 1st. City of Scottsburg took this property back over, and we're taking over the management of this. In so doing, we are going to hire a training director and in part of this to continue the training here. So there was a job hire put forward, and the decision was made to go forward and to hire a lady by the name of Linda Gilray. She's already been out there in this position. She opted to go forward and turn an application in for this position and continue on. So that is before you. I was part of that interview process today with Chuck Rhodes. Chuck Rhodes has kind of been the liaison with the city out there at the Mid-American Science Park, working with EDC, as well as trying to maintain the coordination of the events. This included the Regional Manufacturers
Alliance.
and so what they're doing here is they're basically coming up with school certificates. So if you have employees who need leadership training, if you need employees that need how to repair a broken conveyor belt, or need training in forklift driving, need training in hydraulics, need training in electric motors. We have all of this at the Mid-American Science Park. So this director will be over all of that education part of the Mid-American Science Park. So tonight
Does she just basically coordinate with the trainers that come in?
trainers that come in, also with the university. We have Vincennes University out there currently. We have Ivy Tech as well. There are 3 school systems using the facility: Scott School 1, School District 1, Scott School District 2, and Crothersville. She's coordinating all that, as well as there are different manufacturing alliance members there. So this is the person. We've got 2 sectors of that park. We have an educational sector and we have a rental sector. So I'm taking over the rental sector as far as we are establishing what rooms we have for rent, and the price of those. We will have a person there as well as the event center, as well as the presentation hall. So all of these, this park has a plethora of places to rent. So we have a lot of different ideas going on. We've put a lot of time and effort. Our own Jessica Jones has been out there spending a tremendous amount of time getting things all back into a position that we can have job descriptions going forward. Here is your manual book. It's kind of like how to fly a plane. Read her book and you can now fly a plane. So it's very descriptive.
This
So-
is a full-time position.
This is a full-time position. It is. So that's item E on your agenda tonight, approval of hiring Linda Gilray, the Mid-American Science Park. Chuck, I think, has interviewed several, and this has been his top pick. Was in this final process today of pushing and answering, and I'm fine with her as well. Okay.
So I'll make a motion, we approve the hire.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to approve Linda Gilray as the Mid-American Science Park Training Director. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grisham seconds. Is there questions or comments about this?
When's this effective?
Effective probably in June 1, I would think.
That I'm not, I haven't heard
Basically
for sure.
June 1. I think she's with EDC until May 31st, so this would be effective June 1.
That is correct.
So, with the effective date June 1. Question or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. So approved. The next thing we have is a approval of transfer station rates for sanitation service providers. What this is about, we've got a contract person who wants to bring their pickups to our transfer station here in the city. What we're missing is a weight scale. In other words, we pay by weight. What we need to charge for is by weight. But in lieu of that, we've been charging by basically cubic foot, even though we pay by weight. So I guess what we're asking for is an approval of this amount. You're seeing what the municipal is paying. Austin, for example, brings their weight to us. This is what we charge them. If you look over here for a private contractor, they don't get the discount that the municipal does.
So do we just receive it and then consolidate it with ours and take it somewhere else?
We did. If you recall, what happened is that the idea that we were going to have to raise the Sasco trash bag rate, we opted to, instead of taking all of our stuff out to counties, which is out on Double Nothing, we actually made our own transfer station. And the transfer station, we continue to charge the way the county charge. So that's located over by Meyer Gymnasium. It's right, kind of right across the way. If you went down, I guess it would be 4th Street, maybe 4th Street. I thought you were waiting.
No. 4th Street.
4th Street, just as soon as you pass that building, you're gonna see a large metal building. And you can just back up in there, and you can dispose of whatever trash you have. And it can take anything from garbage trucks to all kinds of stuff. It has a compactor. This is the time we purchased. You wouldn't have been in council at that point. This would have been that council before you, Tom, I'm sorry. But Karen wouldn't have been there. But it compacts that. So we can actually get 2.5 garbage trucks per container. Is usually what we can get. And then we haul that all the way down to Clark Floyd landfill, and then from there, we're charged by weight, and then it's built. So, so basically, in my mind, what we should be doing is charging by weight. So I have Jason Navigate looking at what scale is gonna cost, so we can try to weigh trucks and then charge them accordingly. So right now,
Nobody's done a study as far as the volume here and approximate weight, and are we getting?
this is the mean. So in other words, if we weigh you know, 4 trucks, they're gonna be close, but it's not gonna be the same weight.
Yeah, right, I understand that. But
So, and that's what this is.
This is approximately based on weight, even though we're not really doing it by weight.
Right. And the amount you're seeing on the municipal government is usually, I say usually covered our costs.
Okay.
You know, I'm not telling you all the time.
So who would, individuals would have a garbage truck full of stuff?
I can't think of the name of the individual, but we did have a gentleman that runs a trash service within our county
Oh, okay.
who is looking, he's wanting to see what the price would be to see if it's,
Okay.
would be cheaper for him to bring it here or to drive it elsewhere.
There are a couple corporate rates, Rumpke's one, Haulers, it's best way.
Mhm.
Best way is the second one.
So
This is an individual.
This is not intended then for, if I had a pickup truck loaded
Yeah.
of trash.
No, it doesn't,
Rate for that.
this is.
There's already a rate set for that. It was
Right.
by council.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have a rate for a garbage truck. So what this is doing, this is giving a rate for a garbage truck, one that's
Okay.
like a 13-yard dumpster and one for a 20-yard dumpster. So, you know, now that truck may be rated for 13 yards, but can you get 14 on there? If you do, we may be in a hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that's what this is about. It has nothing to do with your personal rate.
Okay, there is a personal rate.
There is.
So if I want to take something down, I could.
Yeah, you can do it anytime.
Pay the price.
But with that being said, we also have the free Fridays on the first Friday of every month where any citizen that can either have a driver's license with an address or a utility bill to prove that they live within the city limits can take household items to the land or to the transfer station for free.
That's every Friday.
The first Friday of every month.
Okay.
And then we also have, for people that can't make it during the time that the transfer station would be open, they would have to have we are doing the, Wednesday where they have to call in and then get scheduled out for so many pickups on a Wednesday. But those are for elderly people that wouldn't be able to lift it or didn't have a truck, or people that work and would not be able to get there during those hours.
And folks, if you didn't know that, and you've not been to that, because we're asking Scottsburg to clean your area. We want Scottsburg to look, smell, and taste clean. And so, we've issued 140 citations so far, to clean places up, and folks have been really helping us get Scottsburg cleaned back up. You can do this free on every first Friday of every month. So make sure you take it down to the Scottsburg transfer station, and we'll take care of it for you. So thank you so very much. At no cost.
Good deal.
Yep. The next thing we have on our docket is the approval of
Make a
claims.
motion on that, did I miss?
Oh, and I need to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve the rates for the private rates.
Tom Lewis approves the rate
The other one's
structure
already approved, right?
Yeah.
The municipal, okay.
that's before you.
I'll second.
The sanitation service provider, Karen Grisham, seconds. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, so approved. Now we go to claims. What would you like to say about claims?
I would just ask for a motion to accept the claims as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the claims that Tish emailed to us and we reviewed.
I will second.
Karen Grisham, seconds. And folks, these claims have been emailed separately to each Board of Works member because of the social distancing. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I will add that Tish will be happy next month or in June that we'll be able to open back up and be live here, because that has been a little more to get everything and to get it out to the boards for their approval. So we're looking forward to that.
And what else do we
I
have?
have a question. The email you sent to approve somebody to write something, do we not have to do that here? or-
You already did that
We did
earlier.
that.
That's what I discussed
Oh,
earlier.
that
That's
was
the
included in
ratifying.
that whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'd like to make a comment about the banners around town. I think that is wonderful, that we're honoring
The
the
seniors.
kids, the seniors of
I second
2020.
that motion.
You know, our seniors all over this country for 2020, we're experiencing this pandemic and we've not been through this. And so a lot of ball games were missed, a lot of track meets were missed. You know, proms were missed. So there's been, what can we do? So this was brought before us, so the city purchased more places of this. School brought the banners up, we've hung the banners.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of a parade for the kids as well, so, car parade, so we hope to video all of that. And put that on so they can download it, some video and have it for the rest of their lives. So, so we're trying to think of more we can do. Josh, you got any suggestions?
Nothing at this point.
But you're the brainiac here.
I like the dance idea, but, we'll have to see where we're at with everything.
You gotta be 6 feet apart.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when we get past July 4th.
Parents would love that.
What we've done is we've offered the Mid-America Science Park and the Event Center to have a prom out.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
this would be a nice area, so, anything else before us this evening? Hearing none, I have a motion to dismiss.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Karen Grishus makes a motion, so adjourned. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. Chief Zoe, you want to say before we go off?